Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of For the Love of Details. Thank you for being with me here on this Monday night. You know, I have to tell you, when you have a case of the Mondays, in my opinion, being able to come on this podcast just solves everything. So thank you guys for being here. Tonight's episode is going to be a really good one. I don't know about you guys, but if you have been to a car dealership lately, my daughter is in the process of buying a car. You know, it's really cool to see shiny rides on a showroom floor, but do you ever stop and think about what happens behind the scenes? What happens to cars before they get to the point of sale? And tonight we are going to get down to the nitty gritty. I have a guest who is part owner of Driveline Used Cars in Murrieta, California. So without further ado, let's welcome our guest, David.
What's up, everyone?
Najim.
Najim, yeah.
Najim. Gosh, I will get it right
Okay.
eventually. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Man, I'm great. I'll have to tell you guys, we've already had a little bit of a conversation backstage, and I was telling him, you know, the concept of buying a new car or going to a car dealership is a really cool one, and it fascinates me, but I know about buying a car, you know, so I'm excited to get to talk to you tonight and just kind of hear about all of that stuff. Like I said, that happens behind the scenes. So I appreciate you for taking the time to come on and talk with me.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. By the way, you have a podcast that you are now a part of, Clear Coat Confessions, over on Greg Siebold's channel. Somebody drop that channel in the chats. Drop the link so that you guys can go check out that podcast. It's really great, man. You guys are doing an amazing job. Are you enjoying it?
I'm really enjoying it because it's just basically what we normally do in the chats and Discords and stuff like that, and we're just putting it out on video right now. So it's really fun.
Absolutely. I already see some questions. So as always, you guys, please put the questions in the chat and we will definitely get to them in just a second. I still have many questions. I'm sure some of you guys do as well. But let's go ahead and get started and just kind of talk about how you got into this business in the first place. Let us have it.
So originally, I used to live in Boston, and I had a family business. It was a gas station / garage, and we sold that business because we kind of saw the writing on the walls, where garages with attached to gas stations were not a thing that you're seeing very much anymore. So we sold it before that kind of fell out, you know. So we were able to take that money, move to California. We bought some homes and stuff like that, and I went to work for like the corporate world, went to work for like some tire companies and some other garages, and that was okay. We did well with that, and then I started working for a dealership as a service advisor in the repair sections. And a family friend, they opened up a used car dealership, Driveline Used Cars, and they needed help because their English was something awful. So they needed kind of like a face person, someone that can, you know, watch out for them since they were new to the country and everything like that.
Yeah.
So I started working for them, and it went really well. COVID hit and business went like, you know, to the moon. So they needed some more capital. So I invested in and got in as a part owner.
Wow. Okay. And so right now at this moment, you are part owner, and then that family is also still.
Yeah, right. Yeah. They're basically like the founders, and I kind of bought in to, you know, join the whole crew.
So obviously you just talked about having a gas station and a family garage when you were young. Has cars always kind of been a thing for you and your family, then, I'm guessing?
Yeah. About since I was 13. So I've been basically around cars like professionally for probably 30 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool. Okay. So you became a part owner, and how long have you been a part owner? How long have you?
Since 2021, I'd say. Yeah, late 2020, early 2021. Yeah.
Okay. So let's just get into it. What is it like owning a used car dealership? I mean, we talked a little bit. I did ask you backstage kind of the difference between a dealership who is, selling brand new cars as opposed to the used cars. So if you can kind of maybe give us a little bit of, information on the difference there. And then just again, what has this journey been like for you? What's going on in the used car world?
Right. So like when I worked at the franchise, which would be like your normal, like full new car dealership where they got all the cars on the lot there, it's very corporate. It's like, compartmentalized. Like,
Mm,
you got a guy that greets you. You got the guy who closes on the sale. You got the guy who handles the financing. There's the guy, the general manager, and all that stuff. And then if you got to do repairs, you got to go see a different guy for that. So it's very, impersonal, I would say.
mm,
Of course you have the salesman, but that's his
yeah,
job, is just to
yeah,
basically make you feel
yeah.
comfortable. Uh,
Impersonal and kind of annoying. People-
Yes, I agree, and and I feel bad for those guys because
yeah.
they got a general manager that's up their butt saying like, "Hey, you got to call all these people." Yeah, it's like, I just had someone call me the other day. I bought my wife a car brand new,
Mm,
and he was calling me like, "Hey, happy birthday." I was like, "Dude, I don't know you. Why are you calling me? I bought this car like a year and a half ago."
yeah. I still get text messages from when I bought my Camry, and it's been like, gosh, 6 or 7 years. And I'm like, dude, I don't even have that car anymore. Like, that's wild.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's their job because they're looking to see if you'll sell it back to them, if they can.
Yeah.
They're always trying to make money off different
Yeah.
ways.
Yeah.
But when we get to the used car, it's a lot more, like I was telling you backstage, a lot more personal because I'm handling things from pretty much A to Z with the customer.
Yeah.
And I do reach out to them, but I'm not doing like the crazy, like calling 7 years later. Like I barely remember anyone after like
Yeah.
1 year.
No
Uh,
anniversary cards or
right. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, the biggest difference is like, the used car lot, I'm kind of responsible for everything and anything, so like if I got to call the customer, I got to get them in, make the appointment. We got to get them financing if they need financing. I got to make sure if they need stuff fixed on the car that they're not, or maybe a modification or something like that. I got to arrange that. You know, do I have people helping me out? Like, yeah, I got a receptionist and we got a couple other people that, go grab the cars for us and stuff like that. But it's not like we have a grand scale of people that I can just like, oh, here, this guy will help you or
yeah.
this guy will help you. I got to basically find a way to make it happen one way or the other.
So on your lot, how many people are there that are actual salesmen? Just
I would say total of 3,
oh wow. Okay.
including me.
Okay. So
Yeah.
how many cars do you have on your lot at one time? Are we talking a big used car dealership? Are you a
So
small entity?
it's funny in Murrieta and Temecula, which is right next door. We're not allowed to keep, if you're a used car lot, by the way. Like if you're a franchise, you're allowed to have the stereotypical lot where you got all the cars in front and everything like that. But if you're a used car lot, because they're worried about their real estate and their cost of homes and stuff like that, they
Okay.
don't want the crazy Eddies, wacky inflatable tube men on a dirt lot somewhere. So we have to keep, like I would say, 2/3 of our cars basically hidden inside a warehouse.
Oh wow.
So yeah, so like when you go to my dealership, you don't even think you're at a dealership. You think you're at like a little business plaza type place. And then
Okay.
you walk into my showroom. My showroom's indoors for the most part.
Okay.
And then I also have an off-site lot where I keep most of my cars, but I do have roughly about 400 vehicles.
So then people, and I know we kind of talked about this too, and we'll get talking about the auctions in a minute. So people know what your inventory is by looking online, then I guess, right?
Right.
And then
Yeah,
they'll come in.
all the stereotypical websites, Car Gurus, Auto Trader, Carfax, there's a whole bunch of them, True Car. Uh, Besides my website itself, I'm advertising on all these websites.
Okay. So if I go to your lot today and say I want to see this car, is your warehouse close by where you can go get it quickly, or how
So
does
I got a bigger warehouse on the lot,
that?
and I probably got about 150 to 200 cars on the lot ready to go that you can walk over and go see it. And then I have another lot where it's, nondescript, no one knows where it is, and I can just send my guys, to go grab it, and it's usually a 5 to 15 minute, wait
Oh,
because they're parked like in a grid, so they got to move like probably like 10 cars to get one car out.
okay.
Yeah.
Frankie says David looks like he's doing some shady things in a dark office.
Yeah, I'm in my garage, so the light's just beaming on me as the sun's setting here in California.
Muriel, so I'm trying to. You are north of me, right?
No,
Murrieta.
south.
Oh no, you are south. Oh, Temecula. You said
Yeah,
Temecula. Okay.
right, right.
Okay. I'm thinking Murrieta. I don't even know if I've heard of that. So is it a small town? Is
No, it's
Murrieta
actually
small?
we got about 250,000 people in our population.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So it is a pretty big town.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
How competitive is the market right now?
It's crazy, crazy competitive right now. Now doesn't mean that the the options are not competitive. Like like you're just seeing pricing competitive. So
Okay.
like you might see one 2025 Camry at the same price as mine, but maybe the options are not as good, or maybe the mileage is a lot higher, or maybe the car's been wrecked and they didn't disclose that yet.
Mm,
So there's a lot of shady stuff going on in the background for with a lot of used car dealers that you
yeah.
kind of have to sift through to see, okay, why is this such a good deal?
Yeah.
So there's always a reason, but I always tell people if it's too good to be true, then it is too good to be true. So,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
got to find the reason why.
So, with such fierce competition, how does a dealership such as yours stand out? What do you have to do in order to get people to buy from you?
So I'd like to say that's my, witty good charm and dashing good looks, but it's probably not that. It's mostly because I give the cheapest prices online.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, can do you match prices? Like if somebody says, "Hey, I just saw this car that's the same year, it's the same specs for 5,
Verified,
you know?"
yes. If I can verify it, I will. But 99.9% of the time, people are trying to tell me that, oh, I saw this price on this car. It's lower than my listing price. But then I call them and I ask them, hey, what's your out the door price? Or what's the add-ons? That's where I find out that they're probably like $2,000-3,000 more than me.
Yeah, okay. So, I mean, people probably try to be real smart and then realize you're smart too.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And it's funny, we were talking about, again, auctions backstage, and I am so old school, so I'm thinking that David's here still traveling all over the United States to bring cars, and he's like, "Girl, it's online."
Yeah.
I forget it's the sign of the time. So, let's talk about auction cars though. You know, you're finding cars online and then you pick them up or they're delivered to you.
Mhm.
How how can you be sure of what condition they're in just based on a picture? How does that work?
So a lot of the auctions nowadays, and you'll probably see this when you go to if you have a newer car and you go to the dealership to get it serviced or whatnot, you
Yeah.
have to drive through these like columns, and the columns are taking like 50 pictures of your car as you're rolling it through into the service drive.
Oh, okay.
And that's what a lot of them are doing now is you can see like very detailed photos all the way around under the car, over the car. And then there's a guy that is independently hired to kind of represent the middleman, kind of, do an inspection on the car and stuff like that. And they post any like disclosures like, hey, this one's had an accident, even though it's not on the records and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then it's from there, we got to use our best judgment based on the photos and based on the information given by the inspector that, okay, yeah, this one's worth it. This one's not worth it. We have an idea that we're going to probably spend money on a car, even if it looks fine. We kind of
Yeah.
know we're going to have to do some stuff.
Yeah. Do you ever get bamboozled? Because I know sometimes pictures just don't do things justice. Do you
Oh, for
ever?
sure. For
Okay.
sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
within the world, in the times of AI and
Yeah, that's
Photoshop
what
and
I was
stuff like
thinking.
that,
Yeah.
yeah, we get lots of cars that are like, it looks good from afar, but
Yeah.
once you get close to it, you're like, oh, geez, I
It's
just
a
got
mess.
screwed. Yeah.
Yeah. Chris says he has a 451 credit score. Can you help him with financing?
Get a cosigner and a lot of money down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another question I want to ask you in a minute. Carlos heard you're doing a car giveaway. Is that true, David?
Yeah. Let me see. I got a little Hot Wheels car somewhere around here.
Wouldn't that be wild? Oh goodness.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, there is dealerships that do like stupid stuff like that. You're like,
yeah,
oh, we're giving away a free car, and then you get to the place, it's like a 1982 Chevy Caprice, and it looks
yeah.
like the windows have been shot out on it or something.
Well, and then half the time, don't you have to pay a bunch of taxes and stuff anyway? I mean, it's
Exactly.
nothing is ever really free, right?
Yeah. 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 They're usually tax deductions or they just want to get it off their lot, one or the
Yeah.
other, if they do giveaways like that.
Yeah. So this might sound like a silly question, and forgive me if anybody thinks it is, but when you think used cars, so for instance, we're in 2026, you buy a brand new car to 2026. So is 2025 then is considered used, right? So
Yes.
that
So like
helps.
depends on who you ask. If you ask the bank will say anything that's less than 2 years old is considered still new.
Oh,
But
less than 2 years. Okay.
right, right. But at the same time, anything with over, I think it's like over 1,500 miles is considered used by like the state that you're usually the state that you're dealing with. Like they'll say this is no longer a new car, this is a used car.
Okay. So you bring in these auction cars, and I'm guessing that you have to do some work to them.
Yeah.
In terms of cleaning them up. And I
Hmm.
know that you do detailing and things on the side, at your home, right? For like families and your family and
Right.
friends and things. So
Yeah.
are you detailing these cars on your lot as well? Or how do you get a car ready for purchase?
Right. So any run of the mill car that I have, like, like say like a Toyota, Kia, whatever, I have hired detailers that I keep in the back and I give them a nice setup that they get to work out of. And basically they do the full like detail, like inside, outside. They're not doing like anything crazy, but they make it look like you would when you go to a new car dealership. They try to get as close as they can. If
Oh,
there's scratches, swirls, stuff like that, they'll do a correction as needed. But they know, not to burn through paint. If it's close, get me involved. But when we get to the luxury cars and the exotic cars, I handle that personally,
okay.
just because I can put my own personal touch on it. I'm if I screw it up, I can only blame myself, not some poor guy in the back
Yeah.
that can't afford to even pay for part of that car. So I don't want to put him in that position.
Yeah, I can understand that. So these guys that you have, and I'm sorry if I missed it. I'm trying to read the comments here. The guys that you have detailing the cars, they work for your company, or are they a third party that you bring in?
So they started as a third party, but I brought them on full time.
Oh, you brought
Uh,
them on full time. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
basically, like before that, the way things were when I first got into like this particular company was they would just hire guys as they were available. And when we only have 20, 30, 40, 50 cars, it's not that big of a deal because you're not getting cars in that much every day. But when we're at the point where now we're getting like deliveries every day for minimum 5 to 10 cars. And detailers, they have other appointments. They can't be like a Johnny on the spot. And then if I sell a car, I usually want to clean it up for them, make it look
Yeah.
nice. So we kind of need someone on hand ready to go when I am ready to go. So we hired them on and be like, hey, what do you get paid? We'll make sure you get paid plus more and get an opportunity to make more money.
Okay. Now, I know that dealerships, for instance, the dealership my daughter's at, part of the package or one of the add-ons was the ceramic coating. So is
Right.
that something that your dealership offers as well? And that's an add-on
So
package? And how does it talk
yeah.
about that?
So I don't know if you remember, I sent you some of the
Yeah.
stuff
The
that
BS.
yeah, now that stuff is sent to us by the banks, like, 'cause the banks are the ones that offer those, like, BS options, basically. So, like, Ally, Capital One, all them.
Okay,
If
wait, they
you
send the ceramic coating or
Yes, yes. Like, here,
okay.
1 second, actually.
Okay. That's wild. So the banks are the ones that are sending the coatings. That's wild. I would have
So,
never guessed.
this is the name of a bank, Ally, and this is their, appearance protection right here, which is basically just a spray and rinse.
Okay.
But they'll
These banks
guarantee
are
it.
really trying to make money.
Yeah. Because everyone wants to sell their own products because whatever I charge, they're going to get a percentage of it.
Oh my
So
goodness. Okay. So are these ceramic coatings or these spray and rinses, are they any good? Are they worth
no, they're
it?
trash.
Okay.
They're
Okay.
trash. But you're not paying. And I always tell customers, I don't lie to them. I tell them, listen, if you want that coating, fine. You're getting a warranty is what you're buying. They're gonna guarantee if you get hard water spots, you get rust spots from industrial fallout, you get a leather tear, you get stains in your fabrics. They're gonna take care of you, and they're gonna do that for 5 years to 7 years, depending on which warranty you got. Uh,
Really?
yeah, yeah. So you're basically buying a warranty from them.
Okay, wow. See that so then so then is it worth it? I mean, it sounds I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. I will tell you, they're not going to make it easy to make claims. I'll tell you that much.
Okay. So
Yeah,
it's
so it
not
is a headache. But if you're
okay.
good at dealing with people,
Yeah.
you'll get your money's worth out of it. I always
Yeah.
guide my customers to how to get their claims done.
Yeah.
So I at least try to help them out on that. I don't leave them in the lurch.
Hmm.
But if I tell them, listen, I can sell you a different type of coating, and then I explain to them my ceramic coatings, and I offer them that option, and I'll tell them it's
Okay.
a lot more money, and I will give you discounts based on how much you want to warranty that for. If you want to buy the 1 year warranty, it'll be a lot cheaper than saying going for like the same 5 year warranty will probably cost you, 4 times the amount of cost of the BS one.
Okay. So what ceramic coatings are you offering your customers?
Pretty much the same stuff that you see. I offer them like stuff like thick, slim. I'll offer Yum. I'll offer Fine Labs. Whatever. It depends on each car. I have a particular solution I'll choose for that because
Okay.
maybe I ask them, what are you looking for? You're looking for durability. You're looking for a certain look, like do you want that wax look all the time, or do you want it to look like it's always wet? I always pick the right coating for the right car.
Okay. And then do you offer I know there are some places that I know that, when they put on or buy the ceramic coating package, the customer, that they actually have like a maintenance wash package and that you can take your car and get a wash. Do you guys offer anything like that with yours?
I don't like. I'll tell a customer, hey, listen, if you want me to do the wash, like you want to bring it by sometime, I'll throw them a free wash whenever. That's not a big deal. But I'm not doing a full detail on there unless they want to pay for it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Most of those dealerships that offer those maintenance program, they
Yeah.
got tunnel washes basically in the back.
Yeah. So that's what it is.
Yeah, they
You're
got a
not
tunnel
the one
wash.
washing.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then they send it over the detail, like their detail that got a 2 week crash course, and he's gonna vacuum your car. He's gonna spray some dressing all over the place and ship and say it's detailed.
Wow. I think I seen Nick from Yum and Eddie in the house. What's up, fellas?
What's up,
Uh,
boys?
yeah. We're talking to David about used cars. So, how many cars are you buying per month? And what kind of cars are you looking for? What cars sell the most on your lot? Or what's going to give you the biggest bang for your buck?
So when we're buying cars, we're looking more for what's going to be a good deal. Like I'm not like looking. Hey, I need to. I mean, I would like to refill certain cars that are very popular and that sell very quickly.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But sometimes the auctions don't allow it because people are overpaying for them. So I'll try and purchase what I can get a great deal on, and then I can pass that savings on to my customers, so it makes more sense. Um, if there's a car that customer wants me to get, I will go get it, but I'm going to tell them, listen, this is the price that it's going to cost me to bring it in, and I'm going to charge you like a whatever percentage we agree upon, and I'll get you whatever you want, whatever color or whatever. But we try not to do that too much because it's a big
Mm,
headache trying to locate specifics.
okay.
But I'll sometimes like get like 20 Chevy Malibus because a dealer wants to offload them all,
Mm.
and I'll have to probably sit on a bunch of them for a long time, but I'll get a really crazy deal on it, and I can sell that to my customers at a very good rate.
So when cars sit, how long for a car to sit on your lot before you start to bring the price down?
So usually the average is usually between 60 and 90 days before you see like real like drops in prices.
Okay.
But every deal is a little different. Like a new car dealer, they got to get rid of that car in 90 days or they got to pay the manufacturer big like
Oh,
interest. And
okay.
smaller dealerships, they usually are borrowing money from like what we call a flooring company. And
Okay.
that flooring company is basically paying for those cars to the auction, and give them like 90 to 120 days to pay for those vehicles. Otherwise, they pay interest like a credit card.
Hmm.
So they
Okay.
basically got to move those cars, or they're going to be paying a lot of extra fees.
So the thing is then is to figure out, especially at new car dealerships, how long cars have been sitting on the lot and push
Right.
the 90 days so that you can
Right, right. But
get
I
it.
mean, you're also gambling whether you're going to find the vehicle that, you want, or maybe still sitting around. Because chances are, if you're looking at it, there's
Yeah.
probably about 50 other people that are looking at
Yeah,
it.
that is true. I know you just said you don't really do this, but Conway is asking, I'm looking to find a good quality Trailblazer SS. Can you help me find one?
All I can say is I'll look for it, but there's not a, guarantee that I'm going to be able to find the exact one that you're looking for, but I'll certainly keep my eyes open.
All right. So did you hear that, Conway? Do people come in and say, "Hey, I need this and this. Can you do that?"
Yeah, and I don't do it for like every Joe Schmo off the street, because otherwise I'd be spending all my days looking for cars, like at the auctions rather than selling what I actually have in my inventory. So like,
Yeah.
if it's a customer I've worked with, I know it's going to be a pretty simple process. No problem. I'll work with them, and I'll be like, hey, just tell me what your parameters are. Tell me how much you want to spend, and we'll make it happen. Just give me some time, and
Yeah.
we'll see what we can do.
Frankie said he's looking for a DeLorean.
Those I can find them, but they're pretty much set on a price. Like, because I think there's a guy in Texas who's got the market cornered on DeLoreans.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So every car that is coming in, are you doing, I mean, I think you kind of touched on this a little bit, but does every car get some kind of detail, or do you ever just have a car come in and you put it straight on the lot?
The only time it goes straight on the lot is if I got it from another dealer, and they've already done the detail on it. But I mean, chances are 99.9% of the time, I'm going to have to do something to it to get it prepared.
Okay.
Whether it be a small interior refresh or a wax or a ceramic coating or something like that. But usually most cars get at least touched somewhat. If the
Yeah.
car is like not worth it, then I just basically just leave it out there and be like, hey, as is, it's like under
Yeah.
$10,000. You
Yeah.
get what you get.
How many people go for the ceramic coating package? Do you sell a lot of those packages?
The BS one, believe it or not, it sells more than the real ceramic coatings.
Really?
Just because people get that warm and fuzzy feeling from a warranty. They don't care,
Mhm.
if it's actually on the car even at that point. They just like, oh, so I call them and I'm going to get the warranty. That's all I
Yeah.
need to hear. And it's a
Yeah.
lot cheaper.
Yeah. Okay.
But I do still sell, I would say, probably at least 4 or 5 coatings a month.
Yeah.
But those coatings are usually going to be around $2,500 or more.
Hmm. Okay. Dan is also saying, I'm looking for a specific car. If he is, can he ask you and you keep an eye out for him?
Absolutely. I can always look. I just can't. I don't make promises unless you give me money up front. Then maybe we can talk.
Before you know it, your email's going to be flooded. Can
Yeah, right.
you find this? Can you find this?
All you guys know where to find me. I mean, if someone asks me to look for something, I can definitely keep my eyes open. But it's just the auctions are just like, it's just a weird thing. Like, you're just seeing cars go through the thing, and whatever you see that day could be something totally different the next day. So it's not like if I saw a car, I'd be like, hey, let me go call my friend, see if he wants this car. By the time I get back, the car is sold and gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how often are you sitting looking at what's at an auction? Is this like a daily thing?
So it is a daily thing where I look, but mainly I have buyers that they're the ones that are kind of like on it every single day. And I spend maybe 1 or 2 days a week where I actually wake up 5 a.m. and I'm looking at like 6 different screens of like different like lanes of cars going through lanes. And it sounds like you're at the Kentucky Derby, because that's all you hear is like the auctioneer going
Mhm.
off in every
Yeah.
lane.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
wild.
So
Frank,
it's easier for me to just hire people to, I give them a percentage if they find good deals and stuff like
yeah.
that.
Yeah. Franco says, but it's it's like this must be an inside joke.
Yeah, I think it's just the whole like background and the sun working with me here today.
Yeah. Um, that's funny. Chris says, I used to install paint sealant at the dealership. We had a buff and shine machine to run it through. Very
Yeah,
cool.
that's definitely not something that we work with, but I've seen stuff like that.
Yeah. So when you guys are applying your sealants, like the people that are working for you, are they doing any type of full-on paint correction?
Yeah.
Are they doing an iron remover? Are they using a clay bar? Is it what? Talk to me about the process of their actual detail.
So up until the paint correction, they're doing everything just like how you see it on, with all these other detailers. They're doing a full decontamination. They're going to do a clay. They might not use a clay towel. They might use regular clay, but they're going to definitely get it all the way down to where they do a rotary. They'll cut it. They'll then do a polish, and then at the polish point, that's where they wait for me to give them instruction whether we're doing
Mm,
spray and rinse, or if I'm going to jump in and I'll do the coating, or if they're gonna just let it fly as is, and maybe we'll just do a wax just to give it a nice shine.
okay. Have you ever had anybody, mess up on, with a rotary, leaving holograms or any of that?
Yeah, that's actually the bane of my existence is holograms. Like black cars, I always get nervous every time I send one back there because it's guaranteed that I'm gonna catch holograms on the car, and then I'm gonna have to go back there and either have a conversation, or I'm just gonna pick up the polisher and fix it myself.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, that is the one thing that still scares me about a rotary. I've got to get over it. I know I do, but the whole, hologram
Yeah.
thing, that would probably be me.
If you follow like Ivan's method, you're
Yeah,
safe. You're
yeah,
safe. It's if you're more like if you're trying to do what Eddie does, that's where you gotta be, like be a pro like he is, and
yeah,
you gotta kind of know that your touch.
yeah. No mowing down here, not yet.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Exactly.
Not yet, anyway. Okay, let's before we keep going, let's answer a few questions just before they start really piling up. I want to make sure I get to everybody. So William is saying, what are dealers looking for in their detailers? Any suggestions on getting an application to an interview?
All right. So this is a good question
That
because
is a
I
good
I
question.
I ran into this not too long, like when we first got our detailers in, and like I have to kind of I don't just hire people off the street. Like when it comes to do the whole business, I have to talk to my partners and everything. And their main goal was the cheapest guy that does an okay job. It doesn't have to be the best job, it has to be, but I kind of educated them, and we're paying a little bit more to get a better job done. But
Mhm.
I'll be honest with you, most dealerships are looking for someone that can do a okay job, that they're not doing anything wrong, but they don't have to like wow the hell out of them, but they're going to be looking at price. What's your price per car? And that's what's
Mhm.
going to basically sell most dealerships, unfortunately.
Okay. Always comes down to price, right?
Right, right. Some new car dealers, they're getting smarter on it, and they're hiring like kind of like how I did it. We're hiring detailers, but they're going to pay you more like a salary at that point, more than a per car basis.
Yeah.
Where a lot of detailers, they want to kind of still feel independent and get paid by the car.
Yeah. Yeah. So are these detailers bringing in their own chemicals, or are you providing all of that?
So I'm providing most of the chemicals. They still provide some small stuff that maybe they prefer a certain brand on something like that. They're welcome to do that. But I got bulk chemicals. I buy 5-gallon jugs of like each thing that they can use on like the everyday cars. For all the luxury cars and the exotic cars, I dip into my own stock for that.
Okay. Carlos says if they have IDA patches, do they get paid more?
No, actually, we fire them on the spot.
Okay, let's see. Next question. This is also from Liam. What is the link to look at what you have on the lot? I'm in the North Bay.
So yeah, I mean, my website's drivelineca.com basically. So
Okay.
you can see my whole inventory there.
Okay, so I'm going to put it in the chat here, drivelineca.com.
Yeah.
Hopefully you can let me know if I botched that or if I put it in there right.
No worries. We're like the first thing you find when you Google, anyways. When you put Driveline Used Cars, we're the first thing that pops up. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Look, this man, Christy, let's do a giveaway in honor because he's a pimp player. So let's make it Luminous Black Slick and Luminous Onyx.
Wow, what a freaking guy.
Isn't he? Oh, Conway's the man.
Yes,
He really
he
is. Okay. All right. Let me write that down really quick, just so Black Slick and Luminous. Him and I were just talking about Luminous Onyx. Have you tried that one yet, David? The tire?
I have not. That's
Neither.
on my list to do, though.
Yeah.
I'm very nervous, like when I'm trying on my vehicles, like trying new stuff out. So I always like
Yeah.
to wait to do it on like a family or friend's car.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work out, it's like, oh, sorry for you. That's free, man.
Yeah. Oh, and a pair of Stacey Adams. Do people still wear those?
I see them at Macy's, but I would never buy them.
I mean, back in the day, those were it, right? Yeah, super generous, Conway, and everybody is saying Vice, Noah, he's banned. He can't. I'm just kidding, Noah.
Dude's got Skynet, so he's
Yeah,
got
his internet is something else. Okay, so let me get back to some questions here. Nate says, any recommendations for a first car for a 16-year-old? My son has about 5K and looking for something. That's a good question.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're looking to finance, most banks they can see that like it's for a young kid, girl or boy, and they tend to like charge higher interest rates if you're trying to go for like a sports car or something like that. So I would say avoid like the Corvettes and the Challengers and the Chargers and stuff like that. I would say look at the Toyotas, the Hondas, you can still even also look at it for value propositions: Nissan Altimas, Nissan Sentras, Kia Fortes, and the Kia K5s are nice. Hyundai Elantras, Hyundai Sonatas. It just depends on what your budget is and what you want your payment to be. But if you're looking strictly at you're going to get finance, you need a good interest rate. You want to look at the tried and true, most reliable cars. That's the one the banks are going to be comfortable giving for a first time purchaser.
Mm, okay, that makes sense. What was your first car?
My first car was a free car when I was at a garage. My customer did not want to replace all the fuel injectors on a Ford Tempo 1987. So my dad said, you fix it, you can keep it. So we replaced all
Nice.
the fuel injectors, and that was my first car. And then I
Nice.
blew it up the next summer driving up to the beach with a bunch of friends. I overweighed the car, and the car just said, no more.
No more. Difficult says, avoid a Kia with a Theta 2 engine. No bueno.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Theta 2 engines, but that's a no-go, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, that's where you got to do your research. There are like Hyundais and Kias with certain engines that did not do well. Like, and you just got to kind of look at which models had those, issues. I can
Yeah.
pick out a problem with every single model, every single manufacturer, including Honda and Toyota.
Yeah.
But that's where the research comes in.
Yeah. Civics, Corollas, Sentras. It's crazy. I think about these cars, especially like the Corollas and the Sentras too. Back in the day, those were like just your kind of run of the mill. They weren't the nicest cars, but man, they have come out with some really nice looking vehicles,
Absolutely.
especially the Corollas. The Corollas really surprise me when I see them sometimes. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on what you're looking for. Like some of the Corollas, like you can look at the base model and it looks like, like kind of what you're describing, like nothing special. But then you get into like the S types and the special editions and stuff, like they go all out.
Yeah. My first car was an S10 Chevy Blazer.
Oh,
And I'll tell
nice.
you what, I would love to have one of those again. That was the funnest little ride ever.
Franco just got a big smile on his face because I think he has one of those.
Does he? Oh, he does, doesn't he? It is an S10, huh? Yeah. Yep. I drove it off the showroom floor. That was like one of the best moments ever. And then it depreciated.
Of course. Well, so you bought it brand new, like 0 miles on it?
Yeah, it was brand new.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I would say always, if you have the option, certified pre-owned. Yeah. Certified pre-owned vehicles are the way to go if you're going to go to a new car dealer. Because you get a little extended warranty. They've been checked out, but you're not paying that full pop that you pay like when you get a new car.
Yeah. Let's see. Financing through the manufacturer, or does financing through the manufacturer or dealer allow for more flexibility in the price of the vehicle?
So if I was to give anyone advice is like, you want to know what you're paying for out the door before you even get to the financing. Now, if you're in a situation where your credit's not so hot, you're kind of, stuck in a rock and a hard place, and you're kind of at the mercy of whoever's going to give you a loan. And which means the dealership might take advantage of you. And that's where you got to kind of deal with try to find someone that's honest that you can deal with. But for the most part, you figure out what the car's cost is, and then you work on the financing. Now, if your credit's not good and they have to charge a little bit extra because the bank may charging a lending fee or something like that, okay, that's fine. But you want to see what they're charging. Like we were talking about your daughter's car,
Yeah.
they're gonna try to slip in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But for the most part, the manufacturing loans through like say through Honda or Lexus or whoever, they will have promotions if you got good enough credit where you can get better than any bank can for interest rates.
Yeah.
You just got to make sure you check out the breakdown, make sure they didn't slip anything else in there, and you just got to keep an eye on them, keep them honest, as I like to say.
Yeah. Which is hard sometimes because, man, some of these, they're piranhas.
Oh yeah,
These
yeah,
guys, you know? Um,
yeah.
I just saw Dan in here said, I won the Grills giveaway. What? I haven't won a giveaway
Nice.
in a long time. That's awesome. I don't really know what I won, but thank you, Dan. That's amazing. Was it a Boss Cannon? I'm just kidding. Thank you, Dan. Also, before we continue with the questions, Conway says he has a very fair way to, I have a way to make the question fair for the giveaway. Conway, I'm all ears. Let me know. Okay, a couple more questions here. Conway, David, do you ever snipe and headhunt and find cars for people that, well, we've talked about this. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So sometimes, not always, and not for everybody. Right.
Right.
Let's see. What does the supply of 3 to 5 year old used cars look like after the COVID supply issue? And I asked him this actually backstage because I remember when I was looking for my car right after COVID, I know used cars were in they were rare. Like you couldn't even find a used car. They weren't on lot. So yeah, let's talk about that.
So I lucked out when COVID first hit because I had just renewed my whole supply of cars. We invested a little bit. We wanted to like really stock up, and we were really good when everything hit and everything shut down. So we were like crazy busy because you got nowhere to go, but you got money burning a hole in your pocket. So what they say, let's go buy a car. So they came, we bought cars. I got probably from I think it was like January or February when COVID like had the shutdown, and we got to July where it was started getting really like hard to find cars, and I was down to maybe we started with maybe 200 cars, and I was down to maybe 30 cars at that point. So we went on like a huge shopping spree, but like just we got very creative on trying to find cars at that point. So we started like being like, hey, you want to sell your car, or we would have like that's where I got the whole buyers program where people were finding me cars to buy, and I'd give them a percentage if it was a good deal.
I am. Do you imagine that the way that the market is now, do you see prices going up? Do you see them going down? What does the market look like in the foreseeable future for used cars?
Currently, the market's on a uptrend as far as like cost of vehicles, like so, and it's all related to, unfortunately, I know we don't like to talk about politics or stuff like that in the world, but it unfortunately they are direct correlation. So oil goes up, usually price of cars go up as well.
Yeah.
Because transportation, the need for more for like people are right now. I sold more electric cars in the last month that I've sold all last year because everyone gets nervous with the whole gas increase. So we have a rush of people. People are so very reactionary, When Trump got elected, everyone thought that like all these certain programs are going to go away. So boom, they all came in, bought those cars because they were afraid that he was going to take it away.
Yeah.
So people are very reactionary to what they see on TV.
Yeah. I am. And I think, Brandon here was kind of the same thing. What is happening with business right now? Do you see sales increasing or decreasing?
At the moment, sales will always be good for me because I have kind of proofed my business to make sure that we're always going to be, profitable. And we just have to make adjustments on the fly as the market changes. But for the most part, like the cost is increasing. But if I was to say, the quality of customers I've been getting lately, I've been on like a decline. Like the smart people are holding on to their money. They're not blowing money. Like war times, is when people kind of hold on to their cash. But the people who not necessarily got the best credit or not necessarily have the money to be buying cars are the ones that are looking to buy cars. So I got to find ways to make that happen.
Yeah. What is the cutoff? So in a credit score, what number is it to where you should have a cosigner or you need a big down payment?
So history does play a big factor in it,
Okay.
but I would say if you want me to put a number on it, if
Yeah.
you're below a 620, I would say it's a good idea to get a cosigner, or you could get away with also having a very large down payment. And when I mean large, I'm talking about like 40 to 50% down.
Okay.
Then bank will sometimes look the other way at that point if you got not so great credit. Doesn't mean
Okay.
that you can't get a loan below 620. It's just increasingly getting harder as it gets lower and lower from there.
Yeah. Yeah. And interest rates, are those, I don't know much about them, but do they change often? Are they
Yes, I
something?
mean, go ahead, finish up.
No,
I
I'm
didn't
just,
interrupt.
is that something that you always have to factor in? You're always checking on interest rates and then you have
Right. I'm always keeping an eye on it, but for the most part, it's incremental changes, but they do change daily. So like some days it's gonna be 4.99, some days it'll be 5.99. But and I'm talking about the introductory rate,
yeah.
not the actual, not the actual thing. But um most cases I always trying to get the bank to do promotions because they do offer promotions. Because whatever the actual rate is, like whether it's 5.99 or 4.99, they probably have a 1 to 1.5%, you know, uh, a little bit of a profit that the bank makes. Now, I don't have control over that, but
Yeah.
sometimes they're willing to get the business. Say,
Yeah.
hey, for this weekend only, we'll do 3.99. And
Yeah.
which I will like try to get everybody to do a loan at that point.
Yeah. I am. That's wild to me when I hear 4.99 because I swear, I think I got my car with 16 and I swear the interest rate was like 1.2 or
Yeah.
something like that.
Oh yeah.
But
Interest rates went up and they never came back down.
yeah, that is just wild. A
Hmm.
couple more questions here. Let's see. William says, you have a variety of cars. Which ones have better clear coat and paint from your time at Driveline? Oh, that's a good one.
So as far as like in general, for if we're talking about detailing wise, like the best clear coats I seem to see is on hmm, it's a good question. Like Japanese cars tend to have soft paint. The clear coats are fine, but they tend to after about 10 to 12 years of being in the sun, they tend to start flaking off. Everyone's seen like the Hondas and Nissans, the way they look after being parked outside all the time. It starts flaking off. GM seems to be pretty hard clear coat and hard paint. If you take care of it, those tend to do well. Let me see who else. Like all the German cars, they're very good in hard paint, but if you don't take care of them, they'll look like crap after a while. But yeah, German cars and I would say GM tend to have probably some of the better paints out there.
Mm, okay. Um, Praying for you. Fifth flash flood warning that you've gotten today. I know that there's still some crazy weather
Oh,
going on out in
that
this world.
sucks.
So, yeah, please stay safe. Please stay safe. Okay, what kind of auction you going to? Dealership insurance? Is there a difference? I don't know anything about
Yeah,
that.
what I think panel by panel is referring to is there is like the auctions that are dealer to dealer. Like we use a Manheim, we use OVE. Like these are companies that strictly deal with dealerships and dealerships only. Sometimes they'll let some of the rental companies also sell there, but
Uh-huh.
then there's other companies like there's a I forget the names are escaping me, but basically they're like insurance claim cars, like salvage cars or cars that were total loss, but not quite. The title didn't get ruined on them, but
Yeah.
they're very questionable vehicles. Let's just put it that way. And people will buy them, fix them up, and those are the ones we were talking about earlier, where the report doesn't really show that there was a major accident or something like that. But when you look under like all the paint and everything like that, it looks
Yeah.
like someone took tinfoil and straightened it back out, so it's still all crumpled up and everything.
Yeah. So are
Yeah.
you using a paint gauge quite often
Oh
to
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, because I got to make sure that there's no bondo behind the paint, and if there is, I'm gonna make sure that I price it accordingly.
Okay, that makes sense. Um, Noah's asking, what car were you scared the most of polishing, or are there cars that come through that you are nervous to detail?
I'm always nervous to detail like the exotic cars because obviously there's a lot of money involved in them. But I mean, at this point, I've got so much experience under my belt now that I'm cautious, but I'm not afraid. I'm a lot more careful. I'll take that extra time to deal with that car. But the cars I'm more scared of are when I'm measuring paint and I'm seeing that, oh, it's at 2 or 3 mils, and I still
Mm.
got to find a way to polish this car and make it look nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and then at that point, we might make the decision to say, screw it, let's just do a repaint and just get it done right.
What is the most exotic or, in your opinion, the nicest car that you have in possession right now?
Uh, on my website, probably the GT63 AMG from it's a Mercedes Benz.
Mm.
It's a very nice car, very fast. But off the inventory that you're probably not seeing there, we do have a couple of exotic cars we don't list. We kind of keep on. It's almost like a pocket listing for real estate.
Oh, okay.
We just keep it for certain clientele.
Okay.
But we do have a couple of Huracans and a Ventador, and we have like 2 or 3 G wagons.
Wow. Okay. So there are people that are coming through like often that you kind of have this little stash for, or?
Well, we have, whether it be the customers, like high-end customers, or we have other dealers that, I might have acquired them by buying a lot of vehicles and I kind of get them in a
Mhm.
lot. And I'll sell to that dealer for a small markup and I'll make quick money like that. Or I'll call my clientele list and be like, hey, you guys looking to upgrade? You looking to buy another toy? Whatever, if they got the cash, I was like, I'll get them into a car that they like, or I'll tell them that they should be in it because everyone else is doing it. You should do it too.
Right. Hello.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, we have a couple questions here. Who takes the hit when you find unreported damage, the auction you bought it from or you as the buyer?
So there's, when you go through an auction, there's red light and green light. Red light means you're taking in all the responsibility of if the car is messed up, that's your fault. Now you can buy insurances, but most dealers won't because they're stupid. They're just like, yeah, we'll take the gamble. But for the most part, if it's green light, then you share responsibility with the auction. If it's something that they reported, you can go back and be like, hey, this thing's messed up. Well, we told you it's in the report. Or
Mhm.
if they didn't report it, then you can go back and get your money back because it wasn't on the report and it was a green light.
Hmm. Okay. Man, there's so many logistics again in all of this. My head is spinning right now. Again, this is very fascinating information. Am I going to remember this the next time I go to a dealership? The next time I go to a dealership, I'm going to FaceTime you so you can
That's the
be
best thing to do.
so you
Best
can
thing
be
to
on
do.
the
I tell
phone.
people,
I'm going to
shoot
be
me a
like,
text, shoot me a
yeah,
call, FaceTime
yeah,
me. I'll walk you through it. I'll make sure the guy doesn't screw you.
nice. I am. I'm going to be like, hold on, I got someone. Don't even go there.
And trust me, I hate that guy because customers do that to me all the time where they're like, oh, my friend, like,
Yeah.
he's like, oh, I'm in the business. I was like, well, really? Where do you work? Well, when I was in high school, I moved cars at this dealership. I was like, bro, look, I was
Yeah.
like, if you want information, just ask what you want. I was
Yeah.
like, you don't have to play we call them third baseman. They're basically there to kind of act like they know it all to make
Yeah.
themselves look good in front of the other customers.
Yeah.
I'm just like, whatever, man. Look, I'm honest here. So just ask me what you're looking for. You don't have to play these games,
Yeah. Yeah. My problem is I don't know the questions to ask. You know what
Right,
I mean?
right,
And then when I leave or, then it's like, oh crap. Like,
right.
then it's always you start thinking about it afterwards. So
You'll notice salespeople will always try to get the deal right there and then. They do not want you leaving that dealership. And that's
right,
why most
right?
dealerships is like an 8, 9 hour
Yeah,
event because they will hold you there like a hostage, being like, come on, let's get this deal done. What do we got to do? And then
yeah,
they'll go back and forth,
yeah,
so, but it's all for psychological war games, basically.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's smart, it's good. It's a good tactic.
Right, right.
Um, what's the best way to a vehicle purchase from the budget perspective or from a model based on reliability or what you want perspective?
Let me see if I get. I'm not sure I understand it. Let's see. What's the best way to a vehicle purchase from a budget perspective or a model based on reliability? So, like, are you just trying to find out what the best vehicle to buy on a budget wise? Like, I would say, um, best bang for the buck. I would say is going to be like a Nissan or a Hyundai or Kia, only because a lot of people have written them off as trash cars because they had some bad cars in the past.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of the cars out there that they have are still good quality vehicles, and you can get a lot. Like you can get a fully loaded Telluride right now for the same price as like a like like a quarter of the price of like a Toyota Highlander, for example, and because they
Hmm.
want like $50,000 for that car, but for $30,000 you can get like a fully loaded version of that car.
Huh.
That's just an example. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
I got an Ultima that everyone says they say it's a trash car, but my Ultima's got almost 200,000 miles on it, and it's giving me nothing but good service, and I just take care of it. That's all I do.
Yeah. Uh, what's the best way to haggle the price down?
So that depends on the dealership. Like my dealership, I have a no haggle policy because I already guarantee that I get the lowest price.
Hmm.
Now, if you come to me with cash, like I'm talking about like $100 bills, we could talk about some discounts. I don't call it haggling. We'll talk about discounts. But I'm not
Yeah.
going to go back and forth because I already know I got the best price. Now, you go to
Yeah.
a new car dealer, they have it built into their model where the whole point is to haggle. So the best way to haggle, in my opinion, when you're dealing with some place like that, is you stick to a number that you know is legitimate. You don't want to go ridiculous because they'll just not even counter you at that point.
Yeah.
So you got to kind of figure out what is doable, what is acceptable, and then you stick to that number and just be like, listen, this is my number. I gotta go right now. I got a thing with my family and the place and the guy.
Mm.
Call me when you guys can meet that. Give them your phone number and let them come to you. You'll find really quick. But you got to also show them that you're serious. Like if you're financing, make sure you have your pre-approval already done.
Yeah.
Um, don't go in there being like, oh yeah, we'll worry about the financing later. They don't know if you're serious at that point, so you don't have a leg to stand on for haggling. But when
Yeah.
you go in there, you got your approval ready, you got the cash in hand or whatever it might be. They take you as a serious buyer, and they'll move heaven and earth to try to get that sale.
Yeah.
So you got to remember that salesman is not the guy that makes that decision. It's the guy behind the glass and all the way in the back.
Yeah. My daughter went in with cash. When was it? On Saturday, I think. And they wouldn't take
Mhm.
it. They told her that she needed
Yeah,
to go
I've
get
heard about that.
a cashier's check. And I'm like, that is wild to me because you know what I mean? I always and I it was more, I think, my suggestion where it's like, babe, if you have that cash in your hand, who's not gonna be like sold? And they were like, no, you got to go get a cashier's check. So that was kind of I
That's
think,
more indicative of it being a corporate run company,
yeah, it's
and
a
they don't trust their own people in their own place to handle the cash, so they
that's
rather have a cashier's check. Yeah.
Yeah, that is wild. There was another comment here. Are Nissans still quality cars even with the French ownership?
Yeah, I mean, because the engines are still, it's a French ownership, but still Japanese engines, still Japanese transmissions. So I mean, it's you just got to do your research which model to mess with. Like I know the Ultimas are pretty safe and reliable cars. Same thing with the Sentras. Their
Yeah.
Titans trucks are very nice. I would avoid the Nissan Leaf if you're looking for an electric car because you only get like 90 miles to the range. So
Mhm.
you just gotta kind of do your research. But Nissan as a vehicle is a fine and reliable car in my opinion.
Yeah. I'm still not sold, and this is no shade to anybody who owns an electric vehicle, but there's a gas station just down the street that I, frequent, and there is always like, 15 Teslas just lined up. And I'm like, I just don't know that I could sit when I got to be somewhere because I got to, charge my car. What do you think about what is your opinion on the whole electric car? Is it, or even the
Long term,
I don't understand the hybrids either, honestly.
well, hybrids I think is probably the best
Better?
investment you can make. Yes,
Okay.
because you get the better economy on your fuel. You get more power out of them because they've made hybrids now where they kind of incorporate power, not just
Okay.
because before they used the battery just to get you at the low speeds like 5 to 10 miles per hour. It'd be
Yeah.
kind of like electric, and then when you need power, you get the engine working. But now they incorporate it where it's almost like its own self drive, and you can get like all wheel drive hybrids where you get like extra power from having a hybrid. But you
Hmm.
see them with the new E-Rays from Corvette. They're like amazingly fast, stupidly fast cars.
Yeah.
But also on the other spectrum, like I bought my mom a 2023 Honda Touring Hybrid, and that thing is amazing. Like she gets
Huh.
like 50
Okay.
miles to the gallon, and you don't have to worry about a giant battery because it's a very small battery. It's just
Yeah.
there to help the economy
Oh,
or the fuel economy.
hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
But electric cars in general, I would say for now they're fine. You know, especially if you got solar on the house and you can charge at home. That's where
Yeah.
it gets really a good thing. But
Yeah.
I'm more worried about 20-year-old electric cars that are pretty much bricked and you can't do a thing with them
Yeah.
afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I am. Okay. So now I feel bad because my daughter was looking at a hybrid first, and I kind of think I steered her away from that. So maybe I should have talked to you first.
Well,
Um,
it's not. I mean, again, you're also paying extra for hybrids too because they hold their value well. So you may have not gotten all that she got with her current vehicle, you know, because she
yeah.
might have had to settle for less with the hybrid.
Yeah. That is true. Okay. Becca's asking, it's a good question. Is it a mistake to tell them you're paying cash up front?
Depends. Now, everyone's seen the YouTube videos and like all the salesmen that all say like they know how to buy the cars and stuff like that. They'll tell you, oh, don't tell them whether you're financing or don't tell them you're paying cash. Depends on the dealership. Like the new car dealerships, yes, you kind of want to just keep your cards as close to your vest as possible.
Mm,
Like I said, get that out the door number agreed upon, and then you can tell them, okay, I'm financing or I'm paying cash. But just make sure you got the credit to back it up if you're financing, or if you
yeah.
got the cash, make sure it's realistic what number you're trying to get to.
Yeah.
Versus like a deal like myself, you tell me up front you're paying cash, I'll get you a better price.
Yeah.
Versus if you try to play games with me, but like, oh yeah, we're gonna pay cash, and then they say, well, we're actually financing, and just to get that price. At that point, I'm just gonna be like, oh, this dick made me run through like hoops to think it was cash, and then he's making me finance now. It makes more work for me, so
Yeah.
I'm more aggravated at this time. I don't want to help you at this point. So you
Yeah.
just gotta kind of read who you're working with.
Yeah. That makes sense. Chris is saying, don't we have like $7 a gallon gas here? Actually, it's five like 89 down the street. Yeah, the way and again, you guys, I'm just really old school, and my mind, and somebody talked about the power grid. California is pushing electric, and yes, that is my number one kind of, I don't want to say fear, but the grid going down is kind of like a thing for me right now. I constantly think about that. So I just don't, for me, I'm thinking I don't want any car that relies on any kind of power grid, you know what I mean, to function. Like I'll be old school and get my gasoline, and when it's an even bigger commodity, sell it for $100 a gallon. You know what I mean?
There's definitely some new tech coming
But
down the
you don't
pipeline.
know, you know,
Yeah, I
it's
think
hard.
electric cars got another 5 more years, possibly 10, before they're viable as a, like, where everyone can feel comfortable with the range and
Yeah,
sustainability. Like they got new batteries that they're working on that won't be lithium based.
yeah,
And when those become affordable, that's when electric cars will be a lot more serious of an option, in my opinion.
yeah. And honestly, I'll be very transparent. I just don't know enough about electric cars or what it entails. It's more me not doing my homework. I just
Right.
yeah, I don't know anything about them. So um you know
Oh,
okay. I don't know what happened. That happened last podcast too, where I just get kicked out. I'm
it's okay.
I
I didn't know if I got kicked out or you got
Oh,
kicked
I'm
out.
like, oh my goodness. So we've been on for about an hour. I want to go ahead and do the giveaway. So Conway had a suggestion. I honestly don't know how this is going to work, but I don't even know if he still on. He might not be. Um, his thought, and I kind of like it. He says to pick a number 1 through 50 instead of asking a question. Um, and make it more fair. And he already picked a number. I obviously have never seen this done before. I don't know. I guess we could try it and see if it works. We have about 40 people on right now. What do you guys think? Do you think that you guys already picked it? Did I even tell you what it was? Did I say 1 through 50? Okay, you guys already picked it. So go ahead, pick a number 1 through 50, and we'll see. Conway already has the number. So pick a number. See, Chingy picked 69. Did I say 1 through 100 or one
No,
through?
no, you said 1 through 50.
I said
Chingy's
1 through 50. Yeah.
he's just
Chingy.
being a Weisenheimer.
Yeah. I love that number. Oh, Chingy picked my favorite number. All right, 1 through
69 is
50.
your favorite number?
13 is my favorite
Oh,
number.
oh, okay.
Let's see. Keep going here. Okay, did everybody choose a number? I see somebody who's right on the money. And this is for Black Slick 2.0 and Luminous Onyx. Okay, has everybody picked their number? Do we still have people picking numbers? You can only choose once. You can't put more than one number in there. I feel like I see some people putting more than one number. Chingy, you've put like 3 numbers already. I saw 69, 13. You can only pick one number. I guess I should have been more clear on the directions, huh?
It's okay. I'm sure it's already been picked by now.
Some were already taken. I had to pick again. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm going to go ahead. I think hopefully everybody has chosen. I don't think I see anybody else going, but I only saw one person who I was afraid that we were going to get like multiple person or people. Sorry, multiple person. Gosh, I can't even speak now. Where is it? Where is it? I believe it is Ross. The number was 5. So
Nice.
Ross, congratulations. If anybody else tells me they chose number 5 too, I swear. I don't see it. So it was 5. Actually, I kind of like that as a way to do a giveaway.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with speed at that point.
Yeah, it's not speed. It's just picking a number and you have enough
Yeah.
time for everybody to choose. So right on, Conway.
Nice
Thank
system.
you
It's
for
like the
that.
lottery ticket, basically.
Yeah. Oh, Keith, did you pick 5? Are you kidding me? I didn't see another 5. Okay, now I'm going to have to go up and
I'm
look.
going back right now. I'm
Are you
looking.
going back? See, that's the only problem. Okay. Keith, if you pick 5, I'll also send it to you too. I literally did not see Keith's at all, to be honest with you. Keith, I see 23 on yours. And I see 22. Nope, it doesn't count, Keith. You have many.
Yeah, I'm not seeing 5. Yeah, Ross was the first 5. Yeah.
Oh, look at instead 5 and 25, you guys.
Uh-huh.
I'm going with Ross. So many. Next time I'm going to have to say you can only pick one number. The leader said, let's do it again. I picked 7.
Congratulations, Ross.
Yeah, Ross picked 5 first. I am looking and on my screen, guys, I am looking and on my screen, it is Ross who picked 5 first.
I didn't see another 5, so I think you're good.
And I honestly didn't either, but I'm going back and looking right now, and Ross, which was right
Too late,
under
Vice.
Greg, it is definitely Ross. So congratulations, Ross, on the Black Slick 2.0 and Luminous Onyx. Ross, if you could please email me there on the screen, kaylintorres82@gmail.com, then I will make sure that we get your winning
Herrick's.
to
It's
you.
a nondescript brand by the bank, so you'll I have no idea who makes this stuff. It's probably made in a bathtub somewhere. Don't worry about it.
It's made in a bathtub. Yeah, Onyx is the tire dressing, and apparently it's great. You know, I haven't gone down the tire dressing. That's the one chemical that I have not really gone down the rabbit hole with. You know, I have a few. I used Dark Side from Car Pro forever. That was like kind of my go-to. And I love DIYs, and I love Guardian. Guardian is and Yum too, but Guardian is honestly, it's my go-to.
Right now, my go-tos is, and we talked about this in our podcast the other day. I'm super into GT tire serum. Is super good.
Oh, okay. See, I've not tried that.
Yeah, it's very good stuff. Jimbo's is a lot like GT serum. It looks exactly like it. So I've been trying that out lately. It's not bad. And then, of course, Yum Dressed V2 is really nice.
Yeah, Yum is good. Yum is good.
And if you want like a local brand, Shine Supply Decked Out is really nice if you like a water-based.
Okay. You know, Shine Supply is one of those. I had some of their products like when I first got into detailing, but it's a brand that I've actually been thinking about lately. I wouldn't mind. I know that they changed some of their blends.
The Wise Guy, yeah.
Yes. I was so sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still have some of their version 1, so I still have some of that here.
Yeah, because Wise Guy used to be so great, and then I bought it again, and I'm like, wait a minute, this is absolutely not the same formula. Like,
Right, right.
and I never bought from them again. But
Yeah.
I always wonder if their stuff
Yeah.
is any good.
Yeah, the one that's always safe is Decked Out. That's like their one of their better products that they
Yeah.
got.
Yeah. Chris is asking, do all the banks actually put their name on the detail products?
Not necessarily. Like some of them buy into a company. Like there's two other main companies that I work with that do a similar kind of setup. You have Resistol, which is almost just like that one I just showed you, same type of look and everything. And then there's another one called Permaplate, which is a whole system that they give the customer. They comes with a car wash soap, sealant, and like the original spray and rinse that we put on, but they put on the onus on the customer to actually maintain it to keep the warranty though. So they have a way out of it when you try to make a claim later on.
What is the longevity of your spray and rinse, that the one you sent me? I mean, how long is
Um,
it lasting?
it lasts about as far as it gets off my driveway, probably. Honestly, I think it's like any other spray and rinse. It'll probably get like maybe a couple of washes, depending on the environment, of course. But
Yeah.
it's no different than Geon Wet Coat or some of the other stuff you've
Mhm.
tried out there. I probably the Luminous Aqua is probably way better than that stuff by a mile.
Okay. What are the bulk products you use for the trash cars? Asking for a friend.
All right, so the ones I buy 5 gallon jugs of, it's the company called Auto Magic.
Oh, I've
Um,
seen that.
Yeah,
I've seen
yeah,
that.
they're good, serviceable products. They're not gonna wow anybody, but they'll get the job done. And then to supplement the stuff that they don't have, I use Ultra Clean, which H2O is like uses them as like their house
Yeah.
brand.
Yeah. Ultra Clean. I had, I think it was Ultra Clean. I think it was their wheel and tire cleaner was actually really good.
Yeah, yeah, it's
It
very
wasn't
good
bad.
stuff. Yeah,
Wasn't bad. Okay. Yeah. Auto Magic. I mean, that's like an actual car wash brand, like the
right.
tunnel car washes, I
Yeah,
believe.
yeah. They do tunnel washes as well as like supply like big
Okay.
shop detailers, like
Yeah.
kind of like what we do.
Yeah. Kind of like a Superior, would you say?
Exactly.
Something.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's what I
yeah.
would equate it to,
It's
mostly.
just the price for the products is just so cheap that when you're buying it at bulk, that it makes sense. Like
Yeah.
because we're going through product like
Oh,
left
yeah.
and right.
Yeah.
Like I'd
Absolutely.
go broke trying to do if I was doing out of the house of rags, I'd go broke trying to supply my details with all their stuff.
Oh, we have another question here. What's up, Chelsea? What would you suggest doing with a used car that has a check engine light that won't go off even though it's been thoroughly inspected?
So, I mean, when people trade in their vehicles, like they focus in on the wrong things. Like, if like you're worried about like cleaning it up, don't bother. I mean, I never paid anyone extra for a cleaner car. Like, as long as the paint's not messed up or jacked up, then I don't care how dirty it is. I'm not gonna pay you any less. I'm not gonna pay you any more either. But when it comes to engine lights, if there's nothing you can do about it, you just kind of take your lick on how much you're gonna take of a loss on it when you go to trade it in. If you're going to trade it in, if you're going to sell it, just sell it and be like, hey, there's this problem, I'll give you a bit of a discount on it. But it just depends on what it is. Like if it turns out to be like a catalytic converter or something that's like
Mm,
going to cost an arm and a leg, you
yeah.
might take a pretty huge loss on it at that point, because everyone knows that they're going to have to spend 2,000 to 3,000 bucks to fix it.
Yeah. This is a good question. How much mechanically do you do to the cars that you buy?
I used to do a lot, but nowadays, because of the volume, I try to do as little as possible. Like I try to get most of the cars I buy are less than 5 years old. So
Mm.
they're usually still under warranty. I can just ship it off to the dealer, get it under warranty, taken care of, and then I don't have
Okay.
to deal with all the hassle. But I got a couple of mechanics like that. They're not part of my company, but they're local in the shop, and they
Yeah.
take care of me on pricing.
Yeah. There was one more. Dan is asking, are you a big tire and wheel guy like I am?
Yeah, for the trucks, like I will definitely like, I'll add value to certain trucks by getting them a lift kit and putting some big ass wheels on
Oh,
there.
okay.
And yeah, I mean, I don't do it for every truck. It's got to make sense. So I'm not gonna
Yeah.
put it on like an old piece of crap or something like that. I
Yeah.
do it for like a newer vehicle.
Yeah. Nice. Panel by Panel is saying Auto Magic were the creators of clay and held the original patent. I did not know that.
Hmm. Yeah.
Wow. See, learn something new every day. I've learned a lot today, but that's really cool. Here we go. Are you okay with time? We've been on for about a minute 15.
I got nowhere to be. I'm good.
Okay. What are the hidden fees we need to look out for in a deal?
The biggest ones, and there's a few new ones that a couple customers showed me the other day that I was kind of like, wow, they're actually going to that point now. The bigger ones are the appearance protection, which is going to be like the spray and rinse stuff,
Okay.
and then theft protection, which is, it could fall under a lot of things. It could be like an insurance, it could be a low jack, it could be something of that ilk where they doing some sort of theft protection. Those are the most two common ones you're going to see. The
Yeah.
new ones to look out for is nitrogen in your tires. Like they're charging, I think, like $1,000 or $1,200 for nitrogen, which is basically free.
Yeah.
Yeah. And other one I see a lot is like dent protection and key loss protection, wheel and tire protection. These are all what they call back end products, and basically the ones that are front end products are the ones that they kind of lock you into because they are what they've already been done to the car. You can't take an etching like they etch the a certain number for theft onto the vehicle, so you can't take that off the car. And
Yeah.
same thing with like the ceramic coating. I can't take that off the car. So we don't have to take them off the price of the vehicle. But like things like dent and dent insurance and wheel and tire insurance, key insurance, those are all back end products. So they're definitely by no ways that they have to be held onto the vehicle because they're just insurance.
Mm. Yeah.
So you can demand those off basically.
The coating package that was on my daughter's car was $3,500.
Yeah. Yeah. And it cost them, I think, about $50.
That's insane. I was so happy. Like I said, when you kind of, in the Discord, talked to me a little bit about, things to look out for. I was like, don't forget. And she's like, she came back to me. She's like, Mom, they were going to charge $3,500 for a ceramic coating. I made them take it off. I'm like, good girl. Thank
Yeah.
God.
And I love when they say it's a ceramic coating and it's like spray and rinse. Like, dude, that's not ceramic coating. It's a sealant at best, and it's barely even that.
Yeah. Yeah. Ron says anything that the finance officer tries to sell you is a ripoff. Yeah.
Usually.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure.
Yeah. I mean, if you want extended warranties and gap insurance, which there's a time and place and a use case for those, but
yeah.
don't make them feel like you have to buy it. Only
Yeah.
buy it if that's what you want.
Yeah. And I know I had asked you backstage, how transparent you are with your customers, because obviously there are things that you have as add-ons as well. But
Right.
you said that you make it apparent on your website, or they know what
It's
the add-ons
apparent. I got a section called price transparency. I tell them exactly what's on the vehicle. And when they come in, before we even let them test drive the car, I tell them about everything that's on the Carfax, and I tell them the out the door price and all the fees that are involved. So I don't want anyone to say that's hidden, because it's not hidden when I'm blatant about it,
Yeah. Yeah.
So and at that point, they can say, hey, well, I can't afford this, or this is my budget. And I'll either try to work with them, or I'll get them in another vehicle that makes more sense for them.
Yeah. Now, are there any add-ons that are non-negotiable that can't be taken off?
So like from my end of things, it's going to be anything that's already been done to the vehicle. Like I was saying, like if I put a theft protection device on there or something like that, it has to be on there. Same thing with the ceramic coating. If it's already done to the car, it's there.
Yeah.
So it can't be taken off. But all the other stuff, 99.9% of it, the other stuff can come off.
Yeah. I know Vice 3500. I thought that was absolutely wild. It's a brand new 2026 Kia Sonata. Beautiful car.
Yeah.
But
it would have been a Hyundai Sonata, I think.
Or Hyundai. What did I say?
Yeah.
No,
Kia
not a, I'm so sorry. A Kia Sorento.
Sorento. Okay, the SUV. Yeah, those are not bad.
Yeah. Beautiful car. But yeah, I was like 3,500 is crazy. I mean, I'll put a coating on it myself.
Right.
And I'll charge you less, sweetheart. No, just kidding.
I bet you if you told that dealer, look, I don't mind you putting the ceramic coating, but I'm not paying $1 over $500, they would have said yes.
You think so?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like I said, they're paying at most, it's $100 is the most that they're paying for that.
Yeah. Corey says, still, even with a warranty and water spots, what if that happens multiple times, and will they pay for new paint job if necessary?
So they'll never pay for a paint job. I mean, technically they would if you take it all the way to court and everything like that. But for the most part, what they'll tell you is, well, why'd you let it get to this point? That's what they're going to tell you. Because just like the interior protection protects from seam rips and leather or like punctures, but the little fine print says if it's over an inch long, then it's no longer covered because you should have told us as soon as you saw the hole appear.
Okay.
So like things like that. So once you see water spots, yeah, you got to call them right away.
Yeah.
But you can use it as much as you want to. That is the positive in it. They'll just reapply it and like the spray and rinse, whatever, and
Yeah.
then you're good for the remainder of your contract.
Yeah. Difficult says that she needs to do my daughter her first oil change between 500 and 1,000, and you'll thank me later.
Yeah, there's a break-in period on new cars. So if the car's
Okay.
0 miles, you want to change the oil after 1,500 miles or less to kind of because you got to remember the manufacturing process. They don't clean out every little metal burr and stuff like that into the
Okay.
engine. So they recommend changing it out right away.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Very good to know. David, explain how much of a scam permaplate is.
It's just like as much of a scam as that that spray and rinse ceramic coating is. They have a sealant though. That's the difference. Is it's a sealant, and the way that they scam you is basically you have to follow the maintenance program. They give you the soap. They give you all like the toppers. Basically, there's a
Oh,
topper in
okay.
there, and they tell you have to keep doing this like for your washes until as long as you do that, we'll warranty everything.
How do they know though if you've kept up with those washes?
I don't know. I'm sure it's one of those things where you kind of have to, just go back and forth with them and fight with them because I've never actually watched, what customers do with them afterwards. Like
Yeah.
I will fight for a customer and be like, hey, come on, take care of them. This is a good customer of mine, and they'll do that favor for me if I ask them to.
Yeah.
But I know that if they want to be basically dicks, they can kind of find their ways out of a lot of things, just like any other thing out there that they give themselves out if they want to.
So is this permaplate, is this something that you can ask for from any dealership they're offering this, or is this only
Yes. Yeah,
places?
pretty much. Well, let me rephrase that. Like smaller dealerships may not have access to it, but most dealerships that have been around the block for a while, they have access to them. We have access to pretty much everything out there. So, I
Okay.
mean, what one dealer, the only thing I can't offer is like something specific like Honda Care or Toyota Care or whatever that the manufacturer's offering directly from their new car dealerships. But everything else, like that's a third party, I can get whatever anyone else can get.
Okay. You know, a question I had about leasing, is it better to lease or buy a car? What is the difference? I mean, I know what the difference
So,
is in terms of,
right, right.
but is there one
Yeah.
that's better than the other?
In the case of like, say, you want to buy a
Same.
luxury car.
Okay. We asked the same
Yeah.
question. Great minds think alike. Yeah.
Yeah. In the case of a luxury car, I would always, unless you got money like that, I would say lease is the best way to go because most of the time, like on a BMW, Mercedes, or any type of exotic car, you're not going to want to deal with the car after the warranty's up on it
Yeah.
because it's going to be
Expensive.
very expensive.
Yeah.
So just treat it like a 3-year rental, basically, is the way I look at it. But if you're, the type of person that buys their cars and drives it till the wheels fall off, or you're mechanically inclined and you can do your own repairs,
Yeah.
then that's where purchasing makes more sense in my mind.
Okay. Yeah. My daughter's, the car she's driving now is a Volvo, but it's the CXT or it's I can't remember what it's called.
CX-60 or CX-90?
CX, one of those. I
Yeah.
don't know. One of those, the SUV, but it's a 2014. And man, she recently lost her key fob. Do you know how much that was to replace?
Yeah, probably around 400 or 500 bucks.
More than that, because no, it's more than that because they had to come to us in order to do it. So it was, you know what I mean? They had to travel.
Did you
So
go to the dealership or through a mobile
The dealer
locksmith?
so we asked the dealership and I'm sorry, is it a 2014 or 2007? Now I'm getting confused. I'm getting confused now what freaking year it is. Sorry, my brain is mush by
It's
this
all right.
point on a Monday night. But whatever it was, I called the dealership and it was like they only kept keys. It was like 1 year off and they weren't able to get the keys and XC90, I think it was.
Yeah.
Um, and luckily this one company we finally found, we called everywhere. It was absolutely insane. I'm like, this is ridiculous. But yeah, it was about, it was about $650 for
I
that
believe it. I
key
believe
fob.
it.
I'm like,
But
girl.
First, I always tell people don't go to the dealer for key fobs unless it's something like a Mercedes where it's like laser cut specialty key that you have to get from Germany. That's where
Yeah.
you kind of locked into it.
Yeah.
But most mobile locksmiths, they have the same keys that the dealerships do, and they can
Yeah.
program them and everything. So they're usually at a half or even as much as a third of the cost of the dealership.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I think it is a much older car now that I think about it. I think it's like a 2007. And
That might have been the problem. Yeah,
yeah, and
because
the dealership only has keys up to like the 2012. They don't keep keys past that. Anyway, it
right.
was a whole ordeal, but I'm like, "Girl, freaking
Hmm.
Volvos." But I think Volvos, aren't they expensive to work on as well? Luckily, this one
Yeah,
hasn't had any issues, but
yeah, they're good cars though. I mean, yes,
yeah.
it's harder to, but like for example, I got a guy in town here that he specializes in Volvos and Saabs, and they'd rather go to him than the dealerships because he's been
Mm,
doing it longer than most people.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, this car is going. It's got about, 200,000 miles, if not more, and it's
Yeah,
still trucking. So,
yeah. The older ones are the better ones too. The new ones are now. It's an Indian company called Geely, I think, that bought Volvo out. So it's
oh, okay.
still they're still designed in Scandinavia, but they're basically made in India now.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I know one of the dealership that charges for the second key fob.
They all do now.
Yeah, any way to yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy. Any way to
When you
make a
go to
buck.
the dealership, if you look on your paperwork, a new car dealership that is,
Yeah.
they're charging you for that second fob, even if you didn't even know about it.
Oh, okay, see, so that's good to know.
Hmm.
Okay. I bought my car used, I only have 1 key fob, and I keep thinking it might not be a bad idea to get another one, but
Yeah.
I just have.
Costco, Sam's Club, and locksmiths now make those keys for like $100 now.
Oh, do they? The
Hmm.
key fob
Yep.
keys?
The whole key fob. Yep.
Oh, I did not know that. Okay. So you just take your key fob and they copy it,
Yep. Yep.
basically?
Yep. Well, they technically don't even need the key fob. I mean, if you have the key fob, it's easier for the locksmith, but or
You just
the
need the VIN?
company. But they can plug into your car and they can make a whole. They can make up to 5 keys usually.
Wow, isn't technology insane?
Hmm.
That's crazy. That is crazy. Okay, let me make sure I think I've gotten all of the questions. Hopefully I did. I think I did. Man, this has been such an interesting conversation. I swear, David, I appreciate you, uh,
Happy to be here.
man, coming out and taking your time to talk about this. And I'm not kidding you because I really am thinking about a new car for myself, not in the next couple months, but by the end of the year. So I'm going to keep you on my
Absolutely.
speed dial because,
You,
like I
you
said,
know,
the questions, it's just the questions. I don't ever know what to ask or what to look
right.
out for when, people are trying
I
to get.
helped Don last month. He bought his new Honda Pilot, and I was guiding him the whole time. Like he'd say, "Hey, this guy said this, this, and this." I was like, "Dude, just keep feeding me this information. I'll feed you the answers." Like so.
Yeah,
That's kind of like what you can do if you when you start your search. Most of the work should be done before you even walk into that dealership.
yeah,
When you're going to your dealerships, you should know what car you're going for and what you're ready to buy and what you're ready to spend your money on and how much you're not willing to go above.
yeah,
And that way, when you get there, you got a game plan. And then when they throw curveballs at you, you just say, "Hey, give me 1 minute, step
yeah.
outside, get on the horn with a guy like me, and I'll kind of guide you."
So when a dealership says this is the price and we can't go down, is that always BS? Can a dealership always go down on the price?
Depends. I mean, like if I'm telling you, like my dealership, hey, this is my bottom dollar. I'm sure I could squeeze out a little bit more somewhere, but it's
Mhm.
not going to be like people come in thinking like, if I got a car for sale out the door with all the taxes and fees, $25,000. Well, I want to be the 18,000 out the door. It's like, dude, I don't make that much money on the car, bro. It's like
Yeah,
so when
yeah,
you come at me and being like, hey, I need another $1,500 or 1,000,
yeah,
at least that's something where I can talk to my partners and be like, "Hey, do you want, not make as much, or do you want to break even on this car?"
yeah.
And we'll maybe make a consideration on that.
Okay. Before we go, let's do a little rapid fire. Are you okay
Of,
with that?
of
All right.
course,
So, what do you think is the most underrated car?
underrated car. I think Nissan Altima.
Okay. Nissan Altima.
Yeah, I think a
Good.
lot of bang for your buck. Reliable vehicle. I think the best thing you could do is just take good care of it, and that thing will last you forever.
Okay. What about overrated? What is the most overrated car?
Let's see here. The one that everyone wants to buy, and it's usually bad credit kids, is going to be Challengers and Chargers. Those are the ones that I like. I laugh at like how much I can't even talk them out of it if I tried.
Yeah.
And it's like it's such a bad investment.
Okay, so the first car I ever bought on my own was a 2008 Dodge Charger, man, and I loved that thing. I have to
Was it
tell
a 6 cylinder or was it the 8 cylinder?
you. No, it was 6. It
Okay,
wasn't.
yeah. See, those are the ones I'm talking about. If you buy an 8 cylinder or like a Scat Pack or an RT,
Yeah,
those will hold their value a little bit.
yeah,
So I'm not as mad at those as I
yeah,
am the 6 cylinders. Six
yeah.
cylinders are basically it's throwing your money out the window.
Oh, well, darn.
As far as value, I mean,
Yeah,
I'm talking about like we're talking about depreciation. That's
yeah,
one of the ones that depreciate really bad.
yeah, yeah. I did love that car, man. It was beautiful. Okay, in selling a used vehicle, what matters more, a pristine interior or exterior?
Exterior by a mile. I can always fix the interior. Exterior, it's got limited, clear coat. People are like eyeing the ball. It's funny. Like when I get customers that they'll take 3 hours just looking every inch of the outside. They got on
Yeah,
the inside, they're just like, all right, yeah, this is fine. So as long as you vacuum up fine, then
yeah.
I'll get a call a week later, but like, hey, there's a scratch in here. It's like, well, dude, the car's been sold. I don't know what you did to the car.
Yeah, yeah. Do you have people that try to bring, cars back or try to say, "Hey,"
Oh yeah, at
oh,
least at least once a week, I get a drama, like I have to deal with.
wow, insane. Do you ever take cars back? Is there ever a situation where you've had a return that you've actually accepted?
My paperwork is pretty on point, and if I wanted to be that guy, I could just tell the customer, "Go to court.
Yeah,
You're gonna waste $5,000 on a lawyer and a bunch of time."
yeah,
But sometimes I don't want the headache, or I feel bad for someone. I want to help them out, and I will make considerations, especially if the car is, in my eyes, worth it to take back.
yeah,
I'll be like, fine, I'll just sell it to somebody else, no big deal. But if it's a car that I'm happy to get rid of, and the guy's a douche or whatever, I'll
yeah,
be like, yeah, you came at me the wrong way, bro. So
yeah.
enjoy your car.
Good car.
Yeah.
What is one detailing product that you swear by in your business?
Oh boy, I think the biggest, and you'll be surprised to hear this, lacquer thinner is probably the best detailing product for a used car dealer, and that's because it does so much more than just like tar and residue. It's like like when you get those buff marks when someone's like gone against something, it takes
Hmm,
out those so easily. Like half the time before you think about even taking that polish out, just check with a little lacquer thinner, see if it
I'm
comes out with that. Yeah.
gonna keep that in mind. Okay, what do you prefer, auction or trade-in?
Trade-ins, because in most cases, as long as it's like a not like another dealer trying to pull a fast one on me,
Yeah.
it's usually someone that's taking very good care of the car. They usually bought it brand new, and I got the control of not having to pay auction fees and
Mm,
transportation fees, and
yeah,
it's a way to get a good car in for a lot, for a little bit cheaper.
yeah. What is your dream car, David?
My personal dream car, um, I'm kind of bougie. I would love to have a Rolls Royce Phantom,
Oh,
but yeah, but also like I wouldn't mind like a Lamborghini Urus because I'm also a family guy now. So I got a new daughter, so I need that
oh,
family car.
congratulations. How old is your daughter?
She
She's,
is 4.5
I was
months.
gonna say really small still, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
So awesome. That is great. Are you loving being a dad, a girl dad?
I am. It's
Oh,
definitely. I'm definitely gonna be. I thought I was gonna be the strict dad. I'm definitely gonna be the sucker dad.
she has you
She's
wrapped
gonna be so
around her
spoiled.
finger already, huh?
Yeah.
Panel by panel is saying more lacquer thinner talk, please. I'm not
Well,
sure.
there's so much I could talk about lacquer thinner. It's a good way to test out, like, hey, is this like, something that needs to be painted, or is it just something that's been like something rubbed off another vehicle or another substrate and
Mhm,
just attached to the clear coat. The lacquer thinner is a way for me to do it like almost like a test spot.
mhm.
And if it comes out with a little bit of lacquer thinner, that might just save me a paint job, or maybe I might be able to get away with lacquer thinner and then doing the polish.
Yeah.
So, and it's like I said, it's not my only product. It's just probably the most underrated product.
You think about or that you use.
Right.
I mean, you
Yeah.
gotta be careful with it though, right? Because
Right.
obviously
Of
it's a
course.
very caustic product. You're not just,
Exactly.
being willy-nilly on your
Right.
paint with lacquer thinner.
I'm
Yeah,
not, I'm not sitting there with a squirt bottle of lacquer thinner just going like everywhere.
on
It's like,
ham.
yeah, it's just one of those things that no one thinks about, and it actually can save you some time and money.
Yeah. He wants to know, do you ever use it on the interior?
Hell no. No interior. That's. I mean, it's like would you use super clean on the inside? Hell no. I mean, maybe if you dilute it like 100 to 1, but
Don't
you're
tell
using
Carlos that.
specific products, huh?
Well, don't tell Carlos that.
Oh, I know.
All right, man. Again, this was a great conversation, such value. I feel much more educated tonight. I really do. I wish we would have had this podcast like a week or two ago so that I could have been a little I could have given my daughter a little more information than I did. But I think she's a big girl. I think she did okay,
Yeah.
without me. But yeah, please go check out Driveline Cars CA, right? .com.
Driveline Used Cars CA. Yeah.
CA.com.
Yeah. No. DrivelineCA.com. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, drivelineca.com. Yes.
Yeah.
If you are in the area, if you need a used car, you have a car in mind, give David a call maybe, and he can see what he can do for you.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you, David, for talking to me. And
Thanks
I will
for
catch
having
you
me.
guys on the next one. Bye.
Later, everybody.